Yes, I take 7 days ago. Grammar fixes, and yes, it's better. I think we talked about it last week. Fix left menu icons alignment. So this is the admin theme. MC toolbar is now always visible in the editor, even if scroll down. Will trust you. Input. So now TyniMce has a message JSON. Which branch? Contained in no branch. I can't see. This is 110x.
110x, yeah.
CSS, TyniMce in less. CSS generated, resource manifest, TyniMce for style. Is it admin? Yes, this is admin. CSS, web config for the styles, CS proj for the new file, and the editor, which is in the admin, requires that. Okay, so this is just to add this thing, which is sticky container. Okay, let's see. Is it the demo you want to show?
No, that's something else, something more interesting.
Okay, so this is admin theme. No, this is update README in the dev branch. Why is it currently in 1.10 and 1.9.3? Yeah.
What do you mean?
Well, why do we mention 1.9.3?
I think it was in there before, but not very clear how and why they are separated. But if you don't think it's important to mention 1.9.3,
yeah, next time,
it's better if it's there, because if you don't want certain new features or you don't want to upgrade with breaking changes.
Well, I will think that if we mention 1.9.3, we can mention 1.8.2 and 1.7.4 or something like that. 1.10 is the latest node version, so the latest deploy, yeah. Updating release version, adding links to release fixation deployment, okay. And it's 1.10.1. Actually, it's not 1.10. Okay. Yes, 1.10.1. And this is what is fixed. Okay. 1.10.1. Merge branch. Admin theme. So some changes on admin theme. Remove incorrect comments in Gulf file. So this is just removing some comments and formatting. Fixed bug on SASS. So this might also apply to Orchard 2, because I think it's the same code at this point. So I will need to look into that for Orchard 2. Merge, and this one, feature canopy, which I thought at some point it was the updated layout editor that you are working on, but it's actually the new theme.
Correct. Yeah, me and Ryan finally got started working on that thing.
Good.
So I decided to publish the branch that I have, and Ryan is going to fork the repo and submit PRs into that branch, and I'll review them regularly and pull them in. So
you want to show it now?
There's nothing to show, really. It's just scaffolding so far.
Okay. So why did you join?
Because I don't know. Ask Sipke. That we shouldn't duplicate all of the shape templates from every built-in module in the new theme, but instead we should try and make the default shape templates that are in each module to be neutral and semantic enough that we could style them appropriately in both the new theme and the theme machine. So we kind of talked about that and decided that that would be a good way to do it. So what we think about doing now is to make, we don't know how much changes will be necessary to do that, but we're thinking about making those changes to the modules that need it in the branch. And then when we're done with the theme and we've made the necessary changes to the canopy theme and to the theme machine and to the shape templates of the built-in modules to make them neutral enough, then we'll merge that into dev. So it's a bit of it's a change of scope, if you will, because we said in the beginning that we weren't going to touch the built-in shape templates at all. Yes. But I think this is a better way to do it.
But it's a big breaking change.
I'm not sure. How is it breaking?
It is breaking everyone.
You mean because people might have other themes that might depend on a...
Well, most sites you will see online will be based on the theme machine. They copy-paste the theme machine. And they update some views in the theme machine that they copy-paste, okay? But some of those views, they never touch them. They are the ones from the modules.
Mm.
So, because the modules today, they are targeting the theme machine.
So what you're saying is they might have a site with a CSS that assumes a certain markup from the built-in shape template, and when we change that, their site's going to break.
Yes.
Uh-huh.
If they upgrade to 1.11, their site will be broken because the template will be completely changed, or they will have to update. Oh, yes, and they might not be able to find all the differences, because even if we document all the changes for all the shapes, and there will be a lot, they might not be able to apply the changes very easily, because it will change the markup, the CSS, everything.
Mm. Yeah, I do understand this. The only other way that I can see doing it is if we duplicate each and every shape template in the new theme.
Yes, that's why I think we got to this point, to duplicate every shape template in the theme.
So that's a better thing to do in the short run, I suppose. But is it better long term?
Can it be done in I don't know, if it's 2, then the 2 branches will live forever, like there will be the canopy with all the shapes and canopy without the shapes.
Maybe there's a case to be made for actually breaking this in order to go forward. Because we're not doing it in a short cycle release, we're actually doing it in a major...
But then, well, canopy is not a replacement for the theme machine, right?
No, that's true. So we would make the necessary changes to the theme machine as well, so it would continue to work.
Okay.
Yeah.
Then that's fine. That's okay, because then if they upgrade the theme machine, they can just take they will take the new files, okay? Only the new files, because the existing file won't change a lot, I assume. There are only 5 files in the existing theme machine, okay? So if they take the new files and they put them also in their theme, they will keep the compatibility.
No, I don't think that's true, because they might have a very, very slim theme from a shape template perspective. So they might have a theme with very few shape templates in them. And for the most part, they might be using the markup from the built-in shape templates of the modules. But they might have CSS that depends on that markup.
Unless I have not understood you, I think you don't understand me. If you say you will add all the current base shapes, all the shapes today, which are in the modules, and core shapes, if you add them to the theme machine.
Oh, okay. No, okay? That's not what I meant.
Okay. So what
I meant was we have 2 options. We can either add all of those built-in shape templates to the new theme in order to give them like a different look, a new look. Which we don't want, because I don't think it's a good maintainable situation.
I'm not saying I'm for there.
And the other option I can see is if we want to change the look and feel of whatever things the built-in modules render on the front end, then we have to go, and in some cases I think we have to tweak the built-in shape templates of the modules. I'm not sure how much. Maybe not much.
Okay. So again, do that. But before you do that, every time you change one of these base shape templates, before you change it, you copy the template into the theme machine.
And how will that help people?
That will help in the way that the theme machine will remain the same with the same HTML rendered. It won't use the one from the new version, semantic HTML, whatever. It will still use the same old one because it will have its own shape inside the theme. And it will help existing websites because if they want to use the new version, well, if they don't want to be broken because they want to still be based on the theme machine, then you just say, hey, copy all the new files which are in the theme machine now, and it will remain the same. If you had your own before, don't copy the new one because you changed it by yourself, so it will be okay.
Okay, I see. So in the cases where they have a child theme of the theme machine, they'll be okay because the new theme machine is going to handle it.
Right.
And in the case where they have a custom theme, they'll just have to do another clone, if you will, of the theme.
They copy paste, and when it says, hey, you already have the file, do you want to overwrite it? No, because my file apparently is better than the default one.
Okay, yeah, that's cool.
That's a migration plan. It's a breaking change, but there is a documented way to upgrade to 1.11 with the new theme and the new HTML things.
Okay, so basically we will end up with an identical shape template in the theme machine and in the built-in module.
If they have not changed. If they have changed, well, before you do the change in the built-in module, they will be identical.
Oh yeah, exactly.
If you don't do any change, there is no reason to copy the template in the theme machine.
True, yes. Yeah, that sounds like a good plan.
Okay. Good then, we agree. Minus all the issues we'll find when it's applied. Okay, good. So Canopy started working. Good, thank you. And it's just a merge, okay, in the existing branch. That's cool, thank you. This is it for Orchard 1. Then Orchard also has some, Orchard 2 has some changes. So this is when I stopped working, and then we talked last week about the changes that could be done. Nick and the others have started to work on that. First, the big changes are Jean-Thierry's pull request, which has been merged, I assume, by Nick, because this is the only one to have access. Yes, so this is a dynamic compilation and picking all the references from the modules for the Razor views. This is crazy work. And I assume it's been merged because it works well. I saw also some changes after. First comment, Nick. When you push something and you put a description of the push, fixes 179 is really not very descriptive.
Yeah, that's fair. That's a fair point. Yeah.
So fixes some
again a minute ago, and I kind of regret doing it. So yeah, that's fine.
And yeah, so this is the second line of to close the issue automatically, but this should be a text explaining what it does, because I was like, what was the goal of that? I'm like, yeah, okay, I need to open GitHub to understand. It's just, yeah, I get it by when I see everything's renaming every module to
that's a fair
extension.
point.
But I saw that also after. This is okay, changing the annex to .NET in test project, which I did in every project but the test, so that's good. Deleted line by mistake, updating YAML.NET, updating XUnit, fixing 180. Okay, -y. So the bug must be add -y. Implements rebuilding and dependencies building. So this is a pull request from Jean-Thierry, and you'll see it's huge and very complex, I'm sure.
That also updates the stuff to do with migrating from RC2 to 1.0.
Also? Okay, because I saw some other changes. Okay, good.
There's one or two fixes after that to deal with some stuff, but we took that in because one of the reasons was because of that.
Yeah, I see some changes here. Updating Docker file with why preview 2 for this one?
Because if you reference something else, it brings back preview 3. I can't remember.
Okay.
Yeah.
There must be a local cache issue with NuGet.
No, it wasn't local cache at all. For some reason, if you reference something, it brings back preview 3. So I don't know. Oh yeah, of course, Jasmine. Yeah, that's right.
So this one, I don't agree with that. This is wrong.
Why?
When you just return something which has a task, you don't need to await it. You just return the task. Return.
So you don't need to do the async part at the top.
There is no async and the wait to be. This is just a syntactic sugar. You just return the task.
Okay, and get rid of async, right?
Yes.
Okay, fine. No, that's cool. I wasn't too sure, to be honest, because it doesn't. I never really know which way to go on that.
I understand. And it also is different because in this case, await we won't return. You see here it will return. Await will continue the execution.
Okay, I'll fix that up. Or what is it? Permission handler. Yeah,
and
cool.
This one, I would expect to be the same actually.
It is the same.
So why do that? Because in case we change lifetime, it's better to use service provider.
Okay.
I'm afraid.
It's the same thing up the top, about 3 lines up. So, but it's fine. It was just because in the MVC project they were particularly referencing the application services, so I wanted to make it the same. But I will change it back to the service provider. It is application services anyway in that area. So.
And this one, so it was not long ago I did this code, and
that code was new. That code was only changed by John Terry about 1 day before. You can no longer pass an area attribute basically.
Okay, it's a breaking change in RC then. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, that's weird.
He changed it to do area attribute and then take the root key and the root value. I just looked at area attribute and just took out the area tag and passed in feature descriptor ID. So we don't need to new up an area attribute anymore.
So when I did that, I looked at the code in MVC to see how they were doing that, and I think I copied the way they were doing. So maybe they changed it. Okay.
I did exactly the same.
Okay, good. This one don't override the existing because they fixed the bug, so we don't need a custom compilation service now because Jean-Thierry opened the bug and they fixed it in RC, so that's good. We don't need our own implementation anymore. This one, I assume you own that, handling the hosts.
Yeah. So before, what was happening was it wasn't kicking up the web server. And that was because it was waiting for an action to then, it was a bit weird. So I took the code from the hosting library and adapted it for Orchard's needs.
Okay. Something I noticed when we do a .NET run, if you do a Control-C after, there is some weird behavior with the console read line or write line.
Yeah, I've got that fixed in a local branch.
Okay, if you type key chars, they are ignored. That's weird. Okay, this is to update to RC. Storing resource assemblies in probing folders. This I don't like. Why diagnostics? Why is that?
I don't understand why you didn't inject the logger into this.
The logger, I think we need to change. I saw you made a module initially. I don't understand why it is a module.
Because you can have any logger you want.
Yes, but this is the logger provider, it's not a module. This should be defined by Orchard. Orchard will use a specific logger and then.
But what if someone wants to use nlog, for example, and not serial log? That was the whole point of having it as a module-based system.
I'm not sure we should use modules for that. Maybe they should just change the code or something like that.
Why? I mean, it's already done.
But it works. There is a big hack. No, it doesn't work exactly like.
All right, there is a bit of a hack.
At startup, you don't have any log, which means if something happens before all the modules are loaded, you can't see any log.
Okay, that's kind of true.
And there is a
But
specific
there's no reason why we
code.
can't fix that.
There are.
Let's just have a bit of a think around that, because I think
Maybe if we
you've got
maybe
the
if we use
abstraction there.
maybe if we use a good logger abstraction, people can still define in a like in Orchard 1 in a host component.config similar like this. We can define which service to use as the logger. You see, it's not bytecode, it's just a configuration which defines which implementation to use. And done.
Maybe.
Because people will, very few people will change it, so why? Okay, it can be, oh, let's change a config file.
It's
It's
yeah, but it's not
acceptable.
the point is that you can have as many
As a
loggers
module.
as you want turned on. So you could have Elm and serial log.
Then we can have a custom implementation which wraps some others. That's doable. Maybe we should even maybe the configuration from ASP.NET supports that.
Maybe I just thought having it as a module is a much nicer.
Yeah,
speed.
but it's very hacky in the code, and there are some.
I know it's hacky.
So, and it was also a pain for me to at some point. I lost half a day to try to debug something because of the logger. That's okay. We need to okay. That and fixes 187. I understand the issue, but yeah. So this was not interpreted, and I think I removed that at some point because it was an issue for me when I was migrating to RC2. I think RC1. I had to remove that. So now it's back. Good. Okay. Good progress. Even Alexander is back, apparently. That's
What
cool.
is back?
Alexander Bocharov.
Oh yeah. Yeah, a few people have popped up actually.
Right.
They must have liked the fact that I was back, so they've all seemed to come back.
Good. Good traction. Questions on the status? People keep asking when is Orchard 2 released, if they should start with Orchard 2 instead of Orchard 1. Don't start with Orchard 2. Orchard 2 can work, but will change so much that it's like you start the project with Orchard 2 and tomorrow you will have to do it with Orchard 3 and 4 and 5. So there is no point in saying I want to start with Orchard 2 because I don't want to have to redo it later if I start with Orchard 1, because if you start today with Orchard 2, you will have to redo it. So start with Orchard 1 today. Orchard 2 is definitely not ready. It works in some scenarios, but I don't even can think about a scenario. Even I will not even host my blog on Orchard 2 right now. It's not. It's almost like ready for hosting a blog, but not yet. So don't use Orchard 2, and there is no ETA for Orchard 2. I hope to have something to be able to host a blog in the next month, and maybe something you can build websites, or at least build modules to build websites in, let's say, by the end of the year. Good. That's it. Then demos. Who's first? Alphabetical order?
I always lose that. But Sipke was the first to shout.
Okay.
And there is time for both, I'm sure. This will be short demos.
Yeah, I won't need a lot of time.
Let me make you a presenter. Or it will be useless. Stop presenting. Go for it. How is your book sales?
It's skyrocketing, my book sales. It's doing okay.
Did you put something on the website?
A day.
Sorry. Did you put something on the website?
Not on the Orchard project site. No.
Okay, you should.
But,
you have access to it, right?
I think so. I'll see if I have the credentials. Otherwise, I'll
put
ask.
Something.
Because that's cool. I will do. All right. If you can see my screen, let me know.
Janos? Yes.
Okay. So I've been doing some work on the breadcrumbs, which I mentioned last week, and I'm processing all of the features, and then I came across navigation, and then I realized that navigation, it doesn't have a list screen or an index screen, and so if we have a navigations menu item here in the as a breadcrumb, that doesn't make much sense because there's no index screen of the menu. So I've refactored that, and I wanted to see what you guys think. So let me demo the navigations feature as it is now after my handiwork. Let's say we create currently when there is no navigation, I delete all menus. It will just go to a new menu screen by default, so you can create the initial menu. That's the same behavior, that didn't change. So let's create the main menu, and as you can see, there's breadcrumbs here as well. And this thing here is clickable, and there wasn't any screen before, but now there is a list screen where you can manage multiple menus. So before you would have just this screen, and you would have a drop-down list, so you could change between menus. But I think this may be a little bit better because first off, you can select any menu that you want to edit from the menu to the left here. And that could have been done, of course, without my changes. It would just select the menu by default from the drop-down. But since we have this index screen, I figured I should just remove that drop-down and make it more consistent with the other Orchard screens. You can still go to the properties of the menu because this is the admin screen of a menu, and this is the content editor screen of the menu. This is the content editor. So that has been changed as part of the new admin theme, and of course I had to change the navigations module to make this work. But I think it looks a little bit more clean up, and I think it works good.
I think it's great
so far. Okay.
One question: when you go to edit the properties of the main menu, I noticed that the main menu wasn't present in the breadcrumbs. Is that by design?
Yes, because this is reusing the content module, the contents module. As you can see from the URL, it's going to the contents module. So it's using the same screen as you would go to content and then edit the homepage, for example. It's using that module, and that's unfortunate because that makes the breadcrumbs path look a little bit weird. Mm-hmm. And the only way I can think of to work around that is by actually creating a custom controller for the navigation or menu editor. But then you would basically be copy-pasting the logic from the contents module where you can render the content editor screen. Some modules do that, but the navigation module doesn't.
Will this be fixed by in Orchard 2 by the content tree? So that, because you know the full thing is a full navigation, tree navigation, and you can see where you are, and the roots are the.
Nope.
What I mean, it will be fixed. It will be fixed because there won't be any breadcrumb anymore. You will see the full tree of the navigation.
Oh, okay. Well, if there's no breadcrumbs there.
And then when you click, you can click on all menus if you want, and you will still see where the all menus item is. Or then when you click on new menu, you will still see where new menu is.
Well, sure. If I go from new and then there's a menu item here, then that is the route. But since this is a separate...
I meant in Orchard 2. It won't be an issue.
Okay. Oh, that's good. But in this case, the only way I can think of to fix it is by duplicating the contents controller into the navigation controrer. Yeah,
that's okay.
Which I don't think we should.
No.
Exactly. Yeah. So, but that explains why you see a different breadcrumbs when you start adding or editing a menu item. Okay. So this all still works the same. We can add a menu item, and as you can see, this uses a custom action on the navigation controller, so that's why this tree stays intact. I just noticed I should add a create node here, so that's something that I need to do. I changed the icons. These were descriptive links. I changed them to icons, but I'm not sure if it's better than just showing edit and remove. What do you think?
I would probably show both.
Yeah, these ones are fine. From the articles I've read, it's usually better to have the text with the icon.
Okay, so
unless the icon is very explicit. In this case, I think that's okay.
I think the text is better in this case.
If you have the space, why hesitate? So just put the text also.
Yeah.
Or just the text. I don't know.
I think just text may look a little bit cleaner because the icon doesn't add much. Because the text is very clear.
And they are small also compared to the text, so tapping them might be harder.
Yeah. Yep.
Well, the full UI here is not maybe adapted for usable on a tablet. I don't know. Maybe I have never tried.
Yeah, maybe. But maybe in a second phase we can make things more consistent. For example, this is something like a toolbox. We also have a toolbox in the layout editor. We have a toolbox in the workflow editor. Widgets has a...
when I said widgets, I meant workflow.
Workflows, yeah, exactly. And then there's another one that I can't think of right now, but there's multiple screens that use a similar concept. So maybe that will be the second phase after we release this. Then we could go over it and make things more consistent.
Okay.
But I won't do that in this iteration.
You have a dog, Sipke?
Oh no, I'm visiting my sister, and she has two cute little dogs. Okay. Yep. Okay. So that's what I want to show. I also wanted to show this in case you haven't seen the bulk actions. Instead of selecting something from drop down and then hitting a confirmation button, you can now just click bulk actions and then choose your action. In this case, it's just one.
Thank you.
I was trying to do the same in Notepad 2, and I couldn't manage to make it work because some of the actions are post, and I couldn't make it work.
This is also post. Yeah.
Can you hear the slow clap from here?
Yeah, we hear.
Yeah.
And
okay.
Did you change the
this would make Daniel happy. Yeah.
Did you change the admin.js to make that work? Because this is a link.
Comes with it.
Oh.
Yeah, absolutely. It comes with its own scripts.
Okay.
So and this is custom JavaScripting, and basically what we're doing here is each menu item here has a href, and we simply use JavaScript to copy that into some hidden field, and then we submit the form.
There is this already in admin.js. It's called unsafe URL on the item prop attribute, and we have it also in Notepad 2. And I wanted to do the same bulk action as you did here, and but it needed to change also admin.js to look for, I think, to do that in this specific element. It was different, so I haven't done that yet. But the drop-down is there, but it doesn't work because it doesn't issue a post, so that's good.
Yeah, I know exactly what you're saying. Yeah, it's exact. We had the same issue here, but this was implemented already by somebody else. But I changed it a little bit around to make it.
Do you think that if we have enough space horizontally that we could expand this sub-menu into separate buttons instead that would save like one click on every action?
So what are you saying? So if we have enough horizontal width, instead of showing the bulk actions button, we would just show the delete button?
Yeah, just delete or this or that. Or...
But you don't know it's a bulk action then? Or you need to show
I think you sort of do because it's above the list rather than inside the list. You could show it next to the checkbox, or I know there are many UIs that do this, and I don't see any of them having this bulk action button.
Yeah, that's a good point. Could you maybe create a screenshot just for
yeah, totally.
inspiration?
We already have this kind of behavior. I assume we have it, or maybe we removed it for the. Is Jasmine here? Yes. For the. Do we have it, Jasmine, on the some buttons on the actions on the content item when you resize or based on the number of actions, it converts to a drop down. We talked about it.
You have this on the content page, but
yes.
Not everywhere.
Okay, but we have it on the content page. Okay.
And the blogs, yeah.
Okay, so it's so there is a zone. If you can put buttons, and every module can add buttons in the zone for the action zone of a content item summary admin. And if there are more than a specific number of buttons, then it will convert to a drop-down. Well, the first 3 will be buttons, and the 4th will be the aggregate of all the other buttons in a drop-down.
You mean this little thing here?
Yes, you see?
Right, but these are individual item actions, and
yeah, I mean it's the same behavior. If there is space,
okay.
It's just a button. If there is no space, then okay, let's convert it to a drop-down.
Yep.
It's kind of the same thing. Maybe it has to be handled differently. Maybe it's I don't know.
Yeah, I see what you're saying. So if it has enough space, it would show these buttons, but it has bulk actions, and otherwise they would collapse into. Yep. Yeah. Maybe.
I sent you a screenshot, Sipke. I couldn't share it here because I'm not a presenter, but you could show it.
So these are bulk action buttons, yeah. So and if the screen would become smaller, they would collapse into an aggregate button, as we see now with the bulk actions. Yeah, that makes sense. Similar to these buttons that Sebastian just explained. Yeah. Okay.
Okay. But it doesn't have a high priority.
No, I would say. Yeah, I think that should be part of a second iteration.
Well,
the scope is already.
I'm not saying that. Creepy. I'm just saying fix everything else before.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. Did you also notice the nice little modal dialogues? Also implemented by, I think, Jasmine or Antoine, I'm not sure.
Are you sure? Are you sure you want to delete this menu? Okay. So did you also implement a new property which is item message or something like that to define the message for each?
Yeah.
So today we have a unsafe URL, and there is also a remove URL. And the remove URL will show a pop-up with a predefined message. Now there is a way to. Oh, there was already a way to configure the message.
Yeah, I added it
a
while ago. So there's already a way, but this has been implemented using new script. We didn't use that script from the old admin. Jasmine or somebody else implemented a data/confirm attribute, and the value of this attribute is the message that appears here.
Okay. And
potentially we could also control the title if we wanted to, using another data attribute.
Okay. Is ING a good online bank?
ING? Well, yeah, it's decent. Yeah.
Not just because they are from Netherlands, but.
Yeah. Well, I like their online banking website.
Okay, thank you.
It's nice, yeah. But I'm not sure it's the same because I think Canada also has.
I'm not in Canada. I don't care.
Okay.
Who cares about Canada?
I care about Canada.
Jasmine cares, but that's it.
All right.
Okay. Sorry.
No worries. Oh yeah. So that's what I want to show, and I have a few questions. As you can see, this side menu has been changed. Antoine did some work on that, based on Daniel's suggestion that who said that who asked what if we have enough sufficient horizontal space? Why not show a little bit broader or wider left admin menu, because it would take less vertical space, and I think it looks really good. But currently, as you can see, you need to scroll the menu individually or separate from the main screen. So if the entire screen has a vertical scroll bar, you could scroll the screen. I can show you now because there's not enough content here. Or I can show you here on this screen. For example, if we open this page. Now, if I can scroll this page, but the left menu is sticky. And my question is that something we want, or do we want this to be configurable? Because maybe it's good to have some theme settings. So what do you guys think?
Configurable by whom?
The admin user. So there would be some settings screen somewhere specific to the admin.
So you would choose whether you want the left-hand menu to be sticky or not?
For example, but the main my main question is, should this be sticky by default, or even if we don't have settings, should this be sticky or not? Because now you need to individually scroll the two panes. This being one pane, the center screen, and the menu itself.
Personally, I think they should scroll together.
Okay.
On the chat, Rob says it's sticky. Jimmy is saying it's sticky.
Sticky by default. Okay, so yeah, opinions differ.
My problem with having it sticky is that when it grows taller than the screen, it needs to have its own separate scroll bar.
Yes, if it's sticky, it will have its own. Yeah, it has to be a thin one on the right, like many.
Yeah, and there is a very small scroll bar.
Yeah.
But what I personally like is to have to move the cursor to the left. On the other hand, you already need to do that because you want to select one of the items if you want to scroll down.
When you got a 50-50, it calls for a configuration.
yeah, that's a good point.
And that's a theme, so it can have a configuration. So if it's easily done in configuration, let's do that.
It is easily done, and it's cool if we have a configuration screen because those settings will be specific to this theme, and we could add more settings.
Yeah, it's about the theme, so you can have in the settings something for the theme, so that's really fine. And maybe more settings, yes, like color schemes or whatever, I don't know.
Yep.
I think that configuration setting should be stored in a cookie, because I think it's very individual, depending on which user or which device even that you're on.
Well, you don't have to store it in the cookie. Or you can, I mean, well, yeah, okay, some settings could be per user. Okay, I see. With the default. Well,
it's sort of like the layout editor to the right in the toolbox. We store the state of the expand collapse groups.
Yeah, that will make sense. Otherwise, every company, they will have to vote about, hey, how do you want your admin? And they will all say, oh, I want it to sticky and not sticky, and same again.
Yeah, so, and in a lot of cases, people don't have individual user accounts for this stuff. They just use admin.
It's even worse then. Okay. But
so that's why I suggest a cookie as a better. Because it's very UI sort of. Yeah.
So you don't store it. That's where. Cookie. Yeah.
Yeah, and on the other hand, I would like it to be part of my user profile. Otherwise, if I open another browser, I need to redo my settings. Maybe we could
do it at the user level. If people share the same account, bad for them.
It just seems to me like it's more of a session view kind of setting than.
No, because every session you want same settings. At least for me, that would be the case.
Yeah, okay, so not session. I didn't mean that really. I just meant sort of.
No, put it at the user level. It's a user profile level. If people share accounts, then that they have to deal with the drawbacks.
Yeah, shame on them, and they'll have to do it differently.
Configuration per user is already fine.
I don't know, guys. Are you sure about this?
Well, I have a Windows account, but I want to change the desktop per different mouse. No,
it's like in Visual Studio. It's like one of the settings that you would configure in the View menu of Visual Studio. But would you expect it to be stored as part of your user account and synced across devices? No.
Well, Visual Studio Online does sync them between all of my computers, so my Visual Studio looks the same everywhere I'm at, which I prefer.
Not the view settings though, right?
Well,
it stores all the settings.
If you prefer the menu to be sticky at home, you also prefer it to be sticky at work.
Yeah.
It's your account. And even the UI, what do you show? You show it's checked, and then you change computers, and it's unchecked. I checked it like yesterday. Why isn't it checked? So it's weird. No, it's complexified and weird. Do it simple first, and we'll see people complaining, and nobody will complain. They will say, I can configure it. Yeah, you can have your own JavaScript in the toolbar which executes that and changes it in. You won't complain about it because you don't share your account with people, and you will tell them, don't change my settings. It's my account. If you
maybe make it configurable if you want it as a cookie or not. I'm kidding. Relax.
And where should we store that configuration?
Yeah.
Maybe in local storage.
So next week, remind me not to invite Daniel, okay?
That gets more and more complex.
Okay. Sipke, Zoltan has a demo too.
Okay, so one more thing.
Okay.
One more thing.
One more thing.
One more thing. So another.
The iPhone 7. Oh no. Okay.
No, it's related to the navigation. I mean, yeah, this navigation. So as you can see, the way it currently works, I need to click on this top-level menu item in order to expand the sub-menu items. But before the change, you could just hover over the menu item and it would show a flyout with sub-menu items, which enabled the user to click on the top-level menu item and it would take you to the index screen. Now I have to add an index menu item like all menus. What is your opinion on that?
Oh, that's weird.
Because yeah, personally, I like that. I like the previous version where I could just click the first one
and you click on the arrow if you want to expand it.
Yeah, maybe that's the solution. That if you want to expand, like
that's what we do in
what the old admin mean.
That's what we do in Archer 1, yeah. Well, Archer 1 in the old admin. Yeah, that's what. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, we'll change this then. So that to expand, you need to click the arrow. If you click on the title of the main menu item,
let's make the new menu like the old one.
Yeah. Yeah.
Let's make the new theme like the old one. No, sometimes you need to build a new thing to realize how good was the old thing.
Yeah, that's true. Okay. Thank you. That was my little demo.
Thank you. I had a question. Yes, question. What's the next big step for the admin? Release? No.
It's pretty much it's just a big list of little issues and finishing off. This is the what you see is what you're gonna get. But there are some screens that look a little bit weird, so we're just fixing that. We are maintaining a list on GitHub in the form of issues, and they are tagged with admin, with the admin label. And everything we run into that's not being reported, we report it there, so we have an overview of work still left to do.
I have a question. If we make the stickiness configurable by user, should we also make the number of items per page user specific?
Good question. In any case, what I think should be done is that the number of items you should be able to differ that for the admin as well as the front end, or even, but that this is a bigger scope, I think.
The permission for this is not very. I think it's site owner can only change that. So.
But that's because it's a global setting, right? If we make it a user setting.
Because it's a performance setting. It can impact the website.
Oh, it impacts the front end as well. Yeah. Okay.
And the backend can be if you say, oh, let's put 100 by default. Every page will be 100 and will take lots of CPU every time. So. You can even change that. You don't want paging. You want to define the max number of items, and there is no count on it.
Yeah, it really only makes sense to make it user configurable if we separate it in admin versus front end, I think. And then the admin part would be maybe be per user, and the front end would not.
There's still a performance issue that you might not want everyone to be able to touch.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, I guess so.
So, Zoltan, thank you, Sipke.
Welcome.
Yeah. So once Sipke stops sharing, I will attempt to start.
Where's the stop button?
There is no stop button. Yes, there is a stop button. I can see it on your screen at the top.
On the top?
There it is. Yep.
You just can't stop presenting. Okay, so please let me know when you can see my screen. And in the meantime, here's a link to a module that I've showcased multiple times before, but now there is a cool new feature that I would like to show you. So, can you see my screen?
I can, Janos, I can see your screen. Good.
Janos can as well. All right, cool. So, what's this about? You have probably already seen it, but there is a thing called Azure Application Insights, which is basically an application performance monitoring / application telemetry service in Azure. So you can go into the Azure portal and see some graphs like these about the performance and general behavior of your application. So there's this module that we have created before to easily integrate Azure Application Insights into your Orchard site. So you install the module, configure it, and boom, you have Application Insights integrated. And now we have added a new feature, which is support for something called Live Metric Stream. This is also a relatively new feature of Application Insights itself. And what it allows you is that if you open it up on the Azure portal, this little dashboard, which isn't showing anything at the moment, this will show you what's happening in your application right now. So you can see, we will be able to see requests, even failed requests here, and also dependencies, which in Application Insights terminology is SQL calls, HS calls, stuff like that. And also, by the way, some info about the server. So let's see what happens. I will open the site I have here.
You should make it into split the screen so we can see the two screens. Can you?
That's probably a good idea. Yes. If everybody can still see it.
Yeah. Good.
So let's go to let's go to the right. So what you see here is that if I refresh the page on the left, blue dots will appear here. So this was our request that we have done. If I open some new pages here, we will see some new dots appear here, after each other. Well, once these pages load. So a few seconds after the request happening, we can see the action on the right-hand side. Apparently, one of the requests failed, or at least there was some issue with one of the requests, and we see it here. This request failed will indicate basically anything that went wrong with the request and something that's recorded by AI. So this can be a server-side trace, an exception that was logged, or even a client-side JavaScript exception.
And is there a way to see that in the log on another page?
Yes, I will show you that as well. Dependencies aren't working here. I can also enable it, but it's behaving quite strange nowadays. I've seen Stack Overflow exceptions, so I would rather not risk that. Going back to the portal, you will be able to also see all of these events in the log. Basically, it takes a few minutes for every event to appear here. So what I will show you here are previous requests that I've done just before the meeting. So, for example, this request here is what we would see for each of the requests. we also see page views, which are the client-side pairs of the requests. And the cool thing is, and this is also something relatively new in the module, because I've already shown you this. And by the way, here is a trace. As you can see, this is basically a log entry. Something happened with audit trail. So if we open this request here and see the details, well, first of all, we also have a property here for the authenticated user ID. So this was my Orchard user's ID. This is now also sent to Application Insights, so you can correlate issues with users.
Can we have I was thinking about it. Sorry to interrupt you. Should we add? Oh, I see request ID. So yes, we should have a request correlation ID so that when we display an error message, we display what is the ID of the request, and in the log we also have it, so that the user could say, hey, I have this in my error, and you can pinpoint directly to the log and which request it was.
That's right. So we could even display such a correlation ID. There is one used by Application Insights, so that's what you see here as operation ID. And what I wanted to show next is that we can also use this operation ID to correlate any telemetry data with anything else. So if I open up related telemetry data here, we can see that we had the request here, but there is also the corresponding client-side page view, which was basically sent from Application Insights JavaScript part. And by the way, we also had a dependency, which was an AJAX call. Now, this is something that I can't show you live because, as I mentioned, there are Stack Overflows happening, so I need to troubleshoot that. But if you would have proper dependency tracking enabled as well, then if I open a request corresponding to that, we would also be able to see all the queries corresponding to that request. So if I open up telemetries corresponding to this operation again, and this is also using the operation ID in the background, you can see that we had this page view, there is a corresponding request, and we had all of these SQL queries. So something with content types, for example, happening in the background.
Cool.
So I think that's quite cool and can help you a lot to pinpoint issues with your app. And by the way, of course, the module is open source, it's free, and the Application Insights is also free to some limit, I think like 5 million data points a month.
Yep, and I've seen also the future of Application Insights. I've seen new features already, which are great, that are not public yet, but you will show us in a few months.
Yes, and by the way, it's being developed very rapidly. So this live stream is like 1 month old probably.
That's great.
But there are already a lot of features.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And I assume it doesn't impact Orchard performance.
No, they say it's.
Of course.
I don't know how they do that, but it's somehow async. Yeah, so Orchard is already so fast that you shouldn't do anything else. But they do it in an async way. So apparently it shouldn't impact application performance at all.
Yeah, that's great. I like it. Thank you. People should tweet about it. I mean the guys from Application Insight.